What is holistic health? When you talk about holistic health is about healing. All right. As you probably read in your notes, the word heal comes from the word Haelen, which means whole. All right, which means to make a person whole. So when you talking about holistic health, it sounds kind of redundant now that you break down the translation, right? Because it's like holistic, then you saying health. When you're talking about healing, health, it's all saying making one whole. All right. And the reason why you're making one whole is because when you're talking about a disease or a dis-ease, right? You're talking about, keep it simple. You're talking about someone that is uncomfortable. You're talking about someone that's imbalanced, who's not whole. Your job as the healer, right, is to make them whole again, right? And you can call yourself a healer. I don't necessarily always call myself a healer because you're really not healing anything. You're really like a guide. You're guiding them to health. So you would probably be more of a guide than a healer. Your client is the actual healer. The herbs are the actual healers because they are doing the job. Nature is the actual healer because if nature doesn't put the actual chemicals within the plant, then your job is pretty much obsolete. It's nothing that you could do. So you're more guiding people to make themselves whole again. But you can call yourself a healer if you want to. If your ego makes you feel, if it makes you feel good, call yourself a healer. That's fine. So holistic health is making one whole again. Not just whole physically, but whole mentally, whole spiritually, whole emotionally. All of that matters when you're talking about holistic health because we are by nature etheric beings. You will understand what ether and etheric being means within the course. We are spiritual beings. We are soul beings before we are physical beings. All right, all of these things. The real you is the soul who is controlling the body. So when your physical body is sick or is rendered sick, you were already sick spiritually or etherically. All right, your life force has been depleted within the cells. All right, so you have already been sick. So what we have to do is not only heal them on a physical level, but we also have to kind of pry a little bit. When I mean pry, I mean what were your clients eating? What do they eat? What do they like to eat? How much water do they drink? What environment are they in? You know, those questions and those answers will give you the pathway to help in guiding them into healing. Why? Because you have different tastes, right? And we'll learn about the tastes. Different tastes will give you an emotional response. All right. What you are what you eat. That's what they say, right? You are what you eat. Well, the reality of it is you are. If a person, I'll give an example of what I mean. If a person is into sweets, if they like a lot of sweets, then we can understand that, hey, we know as the guider that sweets and love is synonymous. All right. So if this person is wanting a lot of sweets, then we understand that this person also may be lacking love. Right. If this person likes a lot of creamy and bready type foods, then we understand that this person seeks comfort, is looking for comfort, and could even be depressed. All right. If this person likes a lot of salty foods, then we understand that this person has a lot of built up anger, right? Thus they say, oh, why are you so salty, etc., etc. All of this is connected to why this person tends to crave certain foods. So you definitely want to deal with them on the emotional level as well. We have to help heal the emotional side of them, not just the physical side. All of this plays a part into holistic health. That's why it's called holistic health. It's not like allopathic medicine or the Western sciences where we get you already sick, so we say, okay, well, let's put a light dose of the disease inside of you. Let's make you sicker in order to make you healthy. That's not how holistic health works. All right. Now, holistic health. Why are we where we at now? So the thing about why holistic health has kind of took the back burner in society and now, but I say this, you start to see now that holistic health is back on a rise. And it's simply because what goes around come back around, right? When we go back and we look into the history, everything has always been holistic, right? So it was no need to have a title to say, oh, I'm a vegan. Oh, I'm a plant-based. I'm a herbalist. I'm holistic. It was no need for none of those titles because every one or our ancestors were already in tune with nature. They knew when to eat, why to eat, what to eat, why to eat this particular food. You understand? And this is why or where we want to get back and return back into that natural nature of things within our own society. Okay. I hate to keep saying you're gonna edit that part, right? Yeah, because I hate but it makes me remember when I say it triggers. Like, you hear that song?
Yeah,
that's the tone.
So why would you not want people to hear that?
Because they don't understand it until I teach them that. You know what I mean? So from a public speaking standpoint, it's just like
okay.
You know, shouldn't do that in public speaking.
Right.
But the secret science of it is awakens a part of your brain.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Interessante.
Yeah, so subconsciously we say but it's really a vibration that awakens that brain. That's why they chant, etc., etc. You see? But that's a topic right there in itself.
It really is. I'm gonna clip it.
Right. So holistic health. So now let's talk about synthetic medicine, and all of this is going to make sense. I don't call herbs and alternative medicine. All right, I don't call it alternative medicine. It is the natural medicine. When we look at the word alter, we see that it means to change. When we see the word native, it means, well, it comes from the French word natif, which basically means the firstborn or the original inhabitant of something. So when you're looking up alternative and you see they call it alternative medicine, then we seeing that they are saying that they changed this first form of medicine, right? So we don't call it alternative medicine because it was the first form of medicine. It's not the original. It should be the name for herbs, right? Herbs should be herbs. Plants should be plants. It was already here. There's no need to alter. They ain't changed nothing. Everything is natural. But we're going to see why they changed it. They call it alternative medicine because they call their medicine synthetic medicine, right? Synthetic comes from the Greek word synthetikos. Synthetikos means to replace or to or fake or placebo, right? So it's fake. So now we can see why they called alternative medicine, because most of the time they extract natural plants, right? And they take these plants and they take the chemicals from the plant and they make a synthetic form of it. All right. So yeah, from their eyes it is alternative medicine because they did alter and change it into something that is now not natural. Nothing fake is going to heal a natural body. So it would be best to stick to the herbs, but first thing first is you want to stick to a more proper and conducive diet for your genetics. That way you can use the herb as preventative measures. That's another thing you also want to educate and teach your clients about, is to use herbs as preventative measures. We can use herb to heal, absolutely, but we want to keep the herbs in us so we don't get sick. Don't wait to get sick to take herbs or drink tea, etc. Drink it because you want to stay healthy. So that is something that you want to teach your clients. Now, let's talk about how the synthetic medicine come around. Well, there's a guy by the name, and y'all probably know him, he's one of the first billionaires in America, by the name of John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller was a big oil tycoon back in the 1930s. Well, in the 1930s, when they were extracting oil from the planet, they realized that the waste of the oil, called petrochemical, had minerals and had vitamins in it. So just like a capitalist would do, how can we capitalize on using this waste? So what they did was they extracted those minerals and those vitamins out of the petrochemical, and they made a synthetic form of these vitamins. All right. Now we got to paint the picture, because you got to understand, in the 1930s and prior to that, there was no synthetic medicines. Matter of fact, the first synthetic medicines didn't come around until the early 1900s, right? Before that, everyone was using what we call holistic health, or basically they were using plants and herbs to heal themselves. It was no synthetic medicines. All right. So what John D. Rockefeller did was he got together with another man by the name of Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was, back then, he was a billionaire too. He ran the steel industry. All right. So these two got together with another man by the name of Abraham Flexner. Remember that name, Flexner, because you will have what we call now the Flexner Report. We'll go back to the Flexner Report in a second. Now, what they did was they had Flexner go out to all these holistic medical institutions. Remember, all medical institutions, whether it's medical schools, etc., were all learning about plants. There was no synthetic medicine, so they were more like holistic universities at this point, if you want to say. But he went to these schools, Abraham Flexner, and he told them that he would offer them $100,000 a piece at this point. $100,000 a piece to push these synthetic medicines, these synthetic vitamins at this time. Most schools declined, but a lot of schools did. Remember, 1930, we're talking about the Great Depression. So now we see the Great Depression coming in. A lot of money is not coming in. And so a lot of schools actually either closed, these holistic schools actually closed, or they took the money to keep their school running, and then they started pushing these synthetic medicines. Now, the Flexner Report. The Flexner Report is basically documentations of how, or guidelines, if you want to say, on how you would now teach your students in these holistic, I don't even call them holistic institutions anymore, but in these medical institutions. You will not teach them about nutrition. You will only teach them about drugs, all right? No more plant talk, just drugs, all right? Synthetic medicines. So now, from 1930 on to this day, most doctors do not know anything about nutrition. They don't even talk about nutrition. If you come in there with something simple as high blood pressure, they will give you a pill. They will not say, hey, get off the pork, stop eating this, exercise more, you need more nutrients in your blood and your body. No, they will give you this pill. And that is because they basically have a pact since the 1930s until this day. And they still run it to this day off the Flexner Report. So I want you to research that, the Flexner Report, so you can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. So this is how synthetic medicines from then to now has come about. And this is how holistic health has took the back burner. Now, you will ask yourself, well, John D. Rockefeller, he had no medical experience, nothing. How was he able to persuade the medical industry to push these type of drugs? Well, guess what? It's the same thing. What goes around come back around. It's the same thing that's going on. A man by the name of Bill Gates, who we all know, who was also a billionaire, is pushing what? Vaccine. He also doesn't have any medical experience. He's not a doctor, etc. But guess what he does have? He has money. Same thing John D. Rockefeller had back then. He had money. And when you're talking about the Great Depression, there wasn't a lot of money going on. So it was a perfect opportunity for him to push his agenda. All right. And the same thing with Bill Gates right now, where, pandemic, recessions, etc. He has the money to push these type of things to your government. Now, I don't want to get political, but I also want to paint the picture to let you know why holistic health has took the back burner. All right. So what is holistic health? It is making one whole again. And that is what you are charged with when you took this course. You took this course because you want to help someone. You wanted to enhance someone else's life and your own life. So take the course serious. Take your life serious. You are here and you have been called. You have been charged to serve. You here to serve the people. And that's it, y'all. That's really what it is. We've been charged to serve the people again. Nature is one with you. The plants, you work with the plants is gonna work with you. I'm telling you. You will see it. But that's all I got right now for now, that is. And that's what is holistic health. We go into it deeper within the other modules as well. All right. Hope to see y'all again soon. Peace.